On day 1, I spawned in as Mario. Woohoo! I was in the middle of a plains biome and what was that? Explosions were going off in the distance. I ran over to see a castle being destroyed. Who would do something like this?
Help me!
I looked over and there was a princess. She must have owned this castle. She was beautiful and in trouble. Suddenly, a small-looking turtle flew in next to her.
Princess Peach, you're coming with me.
By the looks of things, this turtle isn't friendly. Hey, let her go! The turtle turned his attention towards me and blasted me with one of his bombs. Ah! What was that for? I was so weak. Because of my size, I only had 5 hearts.
Now that we have the princess, in 100 days, the world shall feel the wrath of Bowser and his army.
Bowser? Who's that? All I could do was helplessly watch as the princess was taken away, leaving her castle in ruins. On day 2, I ventured out far away from the castle. I looked around and found myself in some kind of flower forest. Out of nowhere, I spotted a strange yellow block floating up in the air. It had a question mark on it, and I had an urge to hit it. I decided to jump and hit the block. It popped out a stone axe. Cool. It looks like these blocks give me items. I used my stone axe and chopped down as many trees as I could. I then used some of the wood to craft myself a wooden pickaxe. With the pickaxe, I was able to get some stone nearby. I then crafted myself a full set of stone tools. It wasn't much, but at least these will keep me better protected. I wasn't sure who Princess Peach was, but I felt the urge that I had to rescue her. I had a strange feeling it was my job to do so. Wait, who was that? Someone was in trouble. I needed to go and help them. On day 3 to 4, I ran over to the screams and saw that it was a mushroom person. He was being attacked by a little turtle person.
Help! It's called a Koopa, and it's attacking me!
Hey, leave him alone. The Koopa turned around and saw that I was right behind him. Uh-oh. I pulled out my sword and swiped at him. The attack was dealing damage, but it wasn't defeating him. What the heck was going on? Was I that weak?
You have to jump on its head after using your sword!
Jump on his head? The Koopa came charging at me again, and I hit it with my stone sword. Then, I jumped on its head, and it automatically defeated him. Whoa. The Mushroom Man introduced himself as Toad and thanked me for saving him. Of course. I quickly told him about what happened to me a few days ago.
Ah, they took Princess Peach? Oh, no! If we can't save her, Bowser will be unstoppable!
That's the second time I heard of this Bowser. Was he that dangerous? I reassured Toad that I planned on getting her back. More Koopas could show up at any second though. So Toad and I left the area and continued our journey. On days 5 to 6, I used my tools to collect more resources. After I finished, I continued onwards. While we were walking, I spotted another mystery block. Great. Maybe if I hit it, it'll give me something else that's useful. I ran up to the block and tried punching it, but all I did was hurt my hand. Ow! What gives?
Maybe you need to get stronger to hit more of these blocks.
I guess I had no choice but to leave the block behind for now. As we continued traveling, I noticed that Toad was sad, and I asked him what was wrong. He told me that he was thankful for being with me, but he missed Mushroom Kingdom. That must have been the castle that was destroyed on day 1. You know what? I think I just came up with an idea. We found a nice open area, and I decided that this would be the perfect place for the base. I used the resources that I've collected and built a small wooden hut for myself. This looks perfect. After I finished, I was able to make one for Toad as well. Then I lured some chickens and built a pen for them to stay in. I told Toad that in due time, this base would eventually become the new Mushroom Kingdom. That way, you don't have to miss the old one. Toad thanked me, and I asked him where I could find Bowser. I wanted to get the princess back. Toad looked worried and said,
On day 1, you only faced his son, Bowser Jr. You haven't met his father yet.
Toad told me that Bowser was the strongest one there was, and the most feared creature in all of Minecraft. If I wanted to beat him, I would have to get much stronger.
Lucky for you, there's a way to beat him.
He said that there were special plants scattered around the world. First, Toad said that I needed to find the super mushroom. Once I ate that, I could grow much stronger. I thanked Toad for the info and headed out in search of the mushroom. On day 7 to 8, I was searching, and while I was walking, I was suddenly attacked from behind. Ouch! Who would do that? I turned around and saw that it was the Koopa from day 1. So, you're Bowser Jr., huh?
Look at how weak you are!
Bowser Jr. said now that they had the princess, his father could start his global conquest of Minecraft. Not if I have anything to say about it. I rushed at Bowser Jr. and hit him with my sword, but he just stood there and laughed at me.
Is this all you've got? How pathetic!
He sent me flying across the area. And I was low on hearts. This guy was still too strong for me. I had to get out of here and find the super mushroom. I was running as fast as I could when I saw a giant green pipe. I didn't know where it led, but it was better than here. I quickly jumped into the pipe. I hope this works. I found myself inside of a cave. Maybe I should look for these pipes in the future. I ventured inside of the cave and collected any iron that I could find. I had enough and created a new set of iron tools. I was able to make it out of the cave and continued my search for the super mushroom. As I continued my travels, I spotted a village nearby and saw that it was in bad condition. I walked inside of the village and it looked like somebody must have attacked this place. I asked one of the villagers what happened, and he told me that they got attacked by Bowser's Koopa army.
They told us that Bowser was now the ruler of this place, and we needed to serve him. When we refused, this was what happened.
Those jerks. They can't just go around and force people to do their bidding. It just wasn't right. The villager told me that Bowser's troops were doing this everywhere. I told him that I was gonna stop Bowser and bring everything back to normal. The villager was glad to hear that, and suddenly I noticed my hunger bar was running low. I had to get food. The villager offered me some bread, but as I looked around, I realized they needed it more than me. I told him that I couldn't take the last of it, but he insisted. I reluctantly did and ate the bread, regaining my hunger and hearts. I asked him if he happened to spot any floating blocks around here, and the villager told me that he actually saw one not far. It was somewhere on a hilltop. I thanked the villager for his help and made my way towards the block. On days 11 to 12, I went towards the hilltop the villager pointed me towards. I looked around the area and I couldn't find anything. I kept searching until I found that the block was floating on top of the hill. I made my way up and knew this had to be it. I jumped and hit the block. Suddenly, a red mushroom popped out. Whoa! This must be the super mushroom. I went over and grabbed it, then ate it, and I suddenly grew in size. I even gained 5 more hearts. Toad was right. This mushroom made me feel so much stronger than I was before. I looked down the hilltop and spotted somebody fighting off in the distance. I decided to go down and see what was going on. I made it down to the bottom of the hill and saw that a group of Koopas were attacking a strange looking creature.
Yoshi!
I ran over to the group and took down one of the Koopas. You're not taking this creature anywhere. The Koopas began to attack me, but thanks to the super mushroom, I was more than capable of handling them. 2 Koopas came at me, and I used my iron sword to stop it and then jump on its head to finish them off. The other Koopas noticed and then fled. I ran over to the creature who introduced himself as Yoshi.
Yoshi!
I introduced myself and then told them that we should get away from this place before the other Koopas decided to come back. Yoshi agreed to come with me back to my base. On days 15 to 16, Yoshi and I returned, and Toad was glad to see both of us. Toad and I quickly used the resources that I left over and built a nice little pen for him to stay in.
Yoshi!
You like your new home?
Yoshi!
I'm glad to hear it. I then noticed he seemed a little off. Everything all right?
Yoshi!
You know where Bowser's castle is, and you managed to escape from there?
Yoshi!
And the Koopas followed you until I found you? Now I knew the location where Princess Peach was being held. Speaking of the princess, I started working on the foundation of my new Mushroom Kingdom castle. I knew once I saved her, she would need a nice place to stay. I collected some seeds and used some leftover iron to craft a bucket to collect water. I returned to base and used the seeds to start a new farm. This will eventually give Yoshi something to eat. It's time I pay Bowser a visit though. Toad approached me and said,
"You're not strong enough to face Bowser yet."
I told Toad that he was most likely right, but if there's a chance that I could save the princess, I had to take it. I left the base and headed straight for Bowser's castle. On days 17 to 18, I arrived at Bowser's massive castle, and boy, was it a sight to see. There were Koopas all around, way too many for me to fight. I had to sneak around and find Princess Peach. I made my way through until I eventually saw her. She was being held in a cage. I was going to run up, but I saw that Bowser Jr. was there, guarding her.
Junior!
Suddenly, it felt like an earthquake was shaking the entire castle, only to find out that it was a large dinosaur with a spiked turtle shell walking towards us.
Did I hear you haven't gotten rid of that blasted Mario yet? Yes, Father, but there was nothing I could do.
The dinosaur roared in anger and breathed out a large amount of fire.
Don't make me do this myself, Junior. Finish the job next time.
This must have been Bowser. He looked way too strong for me to confront right now. The two of them walked off, and I was able to sneak up to Princess Peach's cage. Princess! She was relieved to see me and recognized me from the day she got kidnapped. I'm getting you out of here, Princess.
It's you, Mario, right? Listen, you're not strong enough to save me. You can't be here.
Suddenly, footsteps can be heard.
Here, take this and give it to my friend Toad. He'll know what to do. Now go!
I grabbed the item, and it appeared to be some kind of fire essence. I wanted to stay, but I had no choice but to leave the princess and make my escape. I looked over and spotted another one of the pipes inside of the castle and made my way down. Whoa! Ouch! I fell out of the pipe and landed inside of a strange cave. This cave was nothing like the one I was in last time. There was lava everywhere and a broken bridge across it. It looked as though to get out, I was gonna have to jump my way across. Woohoo! Ow! An arrow hit me, and I noticed skeletons standing on the bridge. Hey, I'm not target practice, you jerks. They didn't listen, though, and they kept shooting. I guess I should get out of here. I jumped over the lava and ran past the arrows until I finally reached the end of the cave. Phew, that was close. The end led me to a bunch of iron ore. Perfect. I needed more equipment. I used my iron pickaxe to mine as much of the resources as I could. I then used it to craft myself an iron armor to protect me. I knew that this would keep me safe as I continued looking for more of those special plants. I looked and saw that there was an entrance that led out of the cave. I think I'm a good distance away from Bowser's castle. I left the cave and made my way back to base. On days 21 and 24, I returned back to base, and Toad could tell that I was upset. I told him that I wasn't able to save Princess Peach, but she told me to give him something. I handed him the fire essence, and I can tell that Toad was filled with excitement. What is it?
This is a good sign, Mario. Now we have a real shot against Bowser.
Toad told me that he needed more time to look into this, and that he would tell me once he's figured it out. In the meantime, I decided to build up more of the base and make it look more like Mushroom Kingdom. I used the resources that I left over and started making a new version of Princess Peach's castle. Hopefully I can make it almost as good as the original. I then turned my attention to my own house. I wanted it to be a little bit more roomy, especially for me to stay in. I finished up the upgrades and checked with Toad to see if he's figured something out.
The next thing that you will need is the fire flower.
Toad said that I would need to get the fire plant seeds in order to grow the full flower. Great. Tell me where to head off to. Toad said that it wasn't gonna be that easy. He knew who owned the seeds, but they aren't an easy person to persuade.
Good luck, Mario. You will need it.
I arrived at the owner's location and found myself in front of a large racing course. This place looks sick. I wonder who had the fire plant seeds here.
Come on, yellow bee.
I turned to see a man that looked just like me, but yellow. Are you the one who has the fire plant seeds?
That's right. I, Wario, have the fire plant seeds, and I'm not giving them away for free.
Wario had the one thing that I needed to save Princess Peach. All right, what do I need to do to get the seeds from you?
All you have to do is beat me in my race course. If you win, the seeds are all yours. But that will never happen.
If that's what it's gonna take to get those seeds, then you're on, Wario. He told me to come back the next day with my very own racing cart. I went off to a nearby cave and mined more iron and other resources. I even was able to find redstone to add some color into it. I quickly went to work making it, and done. This cart should do the trick just fine. On days 30 to 33, Wario and I got into our carts and were at the starting line of his racing course.
The rules are simple. Whoever gets to the finish line first wins.
That sounded easy enough, but I spoke too soon because as soon as I looked down at the course, I noticed that it was going to be a lot more difficult than I thought. A siren sounded off, and the race began. The two of us went down a steep hill. Wario had the lead on me because I was trying to be careful and not hit any of the obstacles. He's raced this course so many times, so of course he would have the advantage. I sped up my cart and eventually caught up to him. I finally had a lead on him.
The only one who's going to win in my course is me.
Wario tried to ram his cart against mine, but I avoided it, and he crashed into the side of the track. Great! Now that he's out of the picture, I easily made my way through the course. And done! I crossed the finish line. I got out, and Wario came up to me. He was clearly upset.
No, no, no! You weren't supposed to win.
A deal's a deal. Hand over the fire plant seeds. Wario reluctantly gave me the seeds. And suddenly, there was a large explosion. We both turned around to see that Wario's racing course was being completely destroyed by Bowser.
Enough waiting around, Mario. I know you're here. Show yourself.
His fire was engulfing the entire track. I knew that I stood no chance against him right now. I wanted to fight, but I swallowed my pride and ran off, heading back to base. I made it back to base and was completely out of breath. I continued making more upgrades to the base. This castle definitely wasn't going to build itself. With all the revisions I did, this place was starting to look a lot better. I then went over to check on Yoshi and noticed that he looked very sad. What's wrong?
Yoshi!
You miss your family and want to check and see if they're okay? Don't worry, we can go and check on them together. I hopped on top of Yoshi's back. He started to run and was super fast. Woohoo! We rode off towards his home. On days 38 to 39, we were riding towards Yoshi's home when we saw a cloud of smoke in the air. Oh no, Yoshi's family could be in trouble. We arrived, and it looked like Yoshi lived on an island. It was being attacked by Bowser Jr. and a bunch of Koopas. The Koopas surrounded Yoshi's family, and we came in and rammed one of them away.
Mario, you're here? Now I can get rid of you and finally regain my father's respect.
I got off of Yoshi and began my battle. I quickly attacked the Koopa with my iron sword and jumped on its head to defeat it. I took the rest of the Koopas down, but right when I finished, Bowser Jr. hit me, and it really hurt. He then stood over me and was ready to deal the finishing blow.
Say goodbye, Mario.
Suddenly, Yoshi came charging in and knocked Bowser Jr. away from me. Together, Yoshi and I started to attack Bowser Jr. He was still far stronger than I was, but with Yoshi, we were able to put up a good fight.
I'll get you, Mario.
As we watched Bowser Jr. flee away from Yoshi's island, the other Yoshis came out of hiding. They thanked me for rescuing them and gave me a reward. It was 2 diamonds. Wow, thanks guys. I used the diamonds and crafted myself a new diamond sword. Yoshi didn't want to leave his family, so I decided to take them with us back to base. As we returned to base, I collected some more wood on the way and expanded Yoshi's pen to make room for his family. I also expanded our farm. That should be enough food for his family. Yoshi's family were grateful for their new home, and it was good to see him reunited with them. Toad came over to me and said that he wanted to show me something. I followed him over to the fire plant, and it was fully grown. This is great, Toad.
I know! Go ahead and use it!
I absorbed the fire plant. Suddenly, my clothes changed, and I turned into Fire Mario. I gained another 5 hearts as well. With this new upgrade, I felt much stronger, and I can shoot fireballs out of my hands. This is amazing. Now, I can go and save Princess Peach.
No! You're not ready to save Princess Peach yet! There's still more upgrades you need!
No, Toad. I'm tired of waiting. I need to go and rescue the princess now. Ignoring Toad's advice, I ran off towards Bowser's castle. On days 44 to 47, I made it to Bowser's castle. The place was still swarming with Koopas, but I didn't care. Now that I had my fire upgrade, those guys were nothing to me. I began my assault on the castle and surprised all of them. They came to attack me, but I easily took them down with some fireballs. I felt so confident about my fire upgrade. If it was that easy to take down the Koopas, beating Bowser shouldn't be a problem at all. I made my way into the throne room, and I noticed that Bowser was standing there in front of Princess Peach.
Mario, you need to leave. You're not ready to face Bowser.
Don't worry, Princess. I've got this.
Is that so? Well then, give it your best shot.
I gathered all of my strength and blasted Bowser with a fireball. That ought to show you.
That tickled. You want to see real firepower? This is real firepower.
Bowser roared and hit me with a large beam of flames. The blast sent me across the entire room. How was that even possible? The blast was so great that I nearly lost all of my hearts. Koopas arrived and surrounded my weak body.
Take him and put him in the dungeons.
On days 48 to 50, I was trapped in a cage in the dungeons. Oh, what happened?
You lost. That's what happened.
I looked over and saw Bowser staring up at me.
Now that you're here, nothing will stop me from my conquest. Soon, my plan will come to fruition, and this entire world will be mine.
Bowser told me that he had heard rumors that I've been building another Mushroom Kingdom.
Don't worry, that will belong to me as well. Enjoy your stay here, Mario.
Bowser laughed and walked away from me. I felt completely defeated. I'm sorry, Princess Peach. I got too cocky. All of a sudden, a strange figure was sneaking around the throne room. Suddenly, I had a flashback of the man. He and I were growing up together, saving the world. Wait a minute. You're Luigi, my brother.
Oh, that's right. And I'm here to get you out of here.
Luigi broke me out of my cage and told me that Toad sent him. That's amazing. With Luigi's help, we both escaped Bowser's castle together. On days 51 and 53, Luigi and I returned to base, and Toad was there waiting for us. He was glad to see that Luigi saved me, but I apologized to him for not listening before. You were right, Toad. I shouldn't have gone off like that.
Don't worry about it, Mario. You'll save the princess soon.
Now that my brother was a part of the group, I decided to build him a nice little home. He thanked me for the new house, but he said something was off about it. Off?
Yeah, but don't worry about it. I'll fix it up later.
Okay. I thanked Luigi for saving me again, but told him that I needed to find a way to become more powerful and stop Bowser.
Why don't you just collect the star?
The star? What are you talking about? Luigi said that the star is a sacred item that grants the user power like none other. Toad then walked up and said he was waiting to tell me about this item when I was more prepared.
You need to unlock the passageway that will lead you directly to it.
Toad said that I needed to obtain the 3 coins that would unlock the path to the star. It was frustrating that I was so far away from beating Bowser, but if this will help me, I'm all for it. After my last encounter with Bowser, I knew that I needed a better way to protect myself. I ventured out into the world and found a massive cave. Maybe I can find some resources there. I went deep inside and eventually spotted some diamonds. I collected them and had enough to craft myself a diamond chest plate and some diamond boots. This would be a good starting point for making a full diamond armor set. I had just left the cave when suddenly a bomb flew by me. I jumped away from the explosion and saw that it was Bowser Jr. and some Koopas.
Mario, you think you can just escape my father's wrath? Think again!
Bowser Jr. flew above me and continued to throw his bombs. I dodged them, but then the Koopas ran in. A Koopa hit me, but thanks to my new diamond armor, it had no effect. I then used my fireballs to quickly defeat it. I charged at the other Koopa. The last Koopa came out at me. Before I can counter, Bowser Jr. hit both of us with his bomb. Ouch. I tried to hit Bowser Jr. with a fireball, but I couldn't reach him. His flying machine made him so hard to fight.
You'll never be able to hit me from here!
He was right. I stood no chance against him, so I had no choice but to run and escape Bowser Jr.
Coward!
On days 57 to 58, I made my way towards the location of the first coin.
I discovered that the first coin could be found inside of a desert temple. It may look ordinary, but you'll soon find out that it's not.
I made it to the temple and went inside. I looked around the place, and Toad was right. This wasn't just some ordinary temple. It kind of looked familiar. I saw a pipe at the center of it and had a hunch that the coin was down there. I jumped on top of the pipe and fell through to find myself inside of a strange desert world. I could see the coin in the distance, but there were Koopas that were blocking my path. I knew that this wasn't going to be easy. I used a fireball to open a path and took down the Koopas one by one. More of them started to show up, and I knew that fighting them individually was a waste of time. I came up with an idea and let all the Koopas close in on me. Then, when they got close enough, I spun around and took down the entire group. Sweet. I then quickly made my way over to the coin. Woohoo! This is awesome. I walked in front of it and collected it. Nice. 1 down, 2 more to go. I made my way back to base, feeling really confident about getting the first coin. I was that much closer to saving Princess P. Whoa! A large blast passed by and barely missed me. I turned to see Bowser was there.
Good. You decided to dodge instead of taking it on. I guess you're not as weak as I thought.
Bowser, mock me all you want, but pretty soon, I'm gonna be more powerful than you and beat you once and for all. Bowser then noticed the coin in my hand, and I quickly hit it.
So you're looking for that, huh? Well, I won't let you find it.
It looks like he knew about the star. Bowser roared another blast at me, but I dodged it, and I threw a fireball at him. It didn't even faze him. He charged at me and knocked me to the ground. He was still too strong for me. Bowser walked towards me. I needed to escape. I saw that below the edges, there was a lake below. I quickly jumped into the lake and swam away as Bowser watched me.
Son!
Yes, Father?
Mario is after the invincibility star. Find him and stop him now!
As you wish, Father.
On days 61 to 62, I made it back to base, frustrated that I still couldn't beat Bowser. I walked inside of the base and noticed that Luigi's house was gone and replaced with a large building. What are you doing, Luigi?
Remember when I told you something about my house was missing? I think I figured it out.
My brother told me that he was working on making a mansion for himself to live in. Wow, talk about fancy. I went over to Toad and told him that I found the first coin.
Excellent! While you were gone, I looked for more information on the other coins and found this.
He handed me a map and told me where I can find the next one. Perfect. Thanks, Toad. I decided to work more on the base and continued building up the new mushroom castle. I was getting close to completing it. Afterwards, I left the base and headed towards the location of the next coin. The map told me that the next coin was located deep inside of the Arctic. I followed it until I came across a group of penguins. They were standing around a pipe and seemed to be afraid. I went over and asked them what was wrong.
We were forced out by an army of Koopas. Now we're homeless.
Don't worry, little guy. I'll go in there and kick out your uninvited guests. The penguins were grateful for my help. I jumped on top of the pipe and went inside. I fell through and I was shocked to see what's become of the penguins' home. The place was a complete wreck. All of the icy area was covered in lava. I saw the Koopas there and it looked like they were looking for something. Were they trying to find the second coin? I charged in and quickly took care of them. I used my diamond sword to take down a Koopa. Then I used my fireballs to take down the rest of the group. That's what you get for ruining someone's home. I made it inside of the place and found the second coin in the center of the palace. I collected it, but was upset to see that I couldn't save the penguins' home. Bowser was going to pay for this. On days 65 to 66, I made it out of the pipe, and the penguins were outside waiting for the good news. I told them that I took care of the Koopas, but I was too late to save their home. The penguins were sad to hear that.
Now where are we supposed to live?
I offered them to come and stay with me, and we went back to base. Once we arrived, I asked Yoshi if he could help me make homes for our new guests, and he happily agreed. The two of us went to work, and we quickly built a home for the penguins to stay in. I know that this isn't much, but I hope this could be a new place you can call home. The penguins thanked me for this, and I went off to talk to Toad. He was outside of Luigi's house, and this place looked a lot different.
I know, impressive, right?
It looked like this was Luigi's new mansion, and boy was it huge. You really outdid yourself, man. My brother thanked me for the compliment and went inside to go rest. I told Toad that I found a second coin, and he was impressed.
How about you get some rest? I'll find more info on the next coin.
I agreed with him and went into my house and rested for the night. I immediately woke up in the middle of the night. What was that noise and what is going on? Toad was outside of Luigi's mansion. He seemed really scared. What's wrong, Toad? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I did see a ghost! Several ghosts took Luigi and trapped him inside of his mansion!
Oh no. I had to go in there and rescue him. I went inside. It was completely quiet. Oh man, this place is creepy. I slowly made my way through it. It gave off a very scary vibe and brought chills down my spine. Luigi! Luigi! Where are you? I kept going deeper into the mansion when, out of nowhere, a ghost appeared in front of me. Ah! Oh, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here now. Luigi was there, and he was completely surrounded by ghosts.
Mario, help me!
Okay, don't worry, brother. I'll save you. I threw a fireball at the ghosts, and they scattered away.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't want any trouble.
I stopped my attack, and the ghosts explained that they really liked Luigi's mansion. They just wanted to live here? Well, I'm sorry, but my brother's afraid of ghosts, but you're more than welcome to have a home for yourselves if you want. The ghosts agreed, and I quickly built a small home next to Luigi's. They were so grateful for it. One of them told me that he heard that I was looking for the final coin.
Your brother kind of screamed it as he was running away in fear.
I told him that I was, and the ghost said that the final coin was being guarded by a giant womp. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, trust me. Soon you will. And that thing is scary.
The ghost then told me in order to defeat it, I would have to become a giant version of myself.
The only item that would ever allow that is the Mega Mushroom.
Mega Mushroom? Huh. I better go off then and find it. On days 69 to 70, I was at my base and noticed that Yoshi was by himself looking out in the distance. Hey, what's wrong? Why aren't you spending time with your family?
Yoshi.
Yoshi told me that more of his people are somewhere out in the world. He didn't want to be captured captured by Bowser and his men. Don't worry, pal. Once we stop Bowser, your people will never have to worry about him ever again.
Yoshi!
He said that the reason he joined me was because he thought that I had the best chance of saving the world, making it peaceful once again. He said that he still believed that, and he would do whatever it takes to help me achieve that goal. I thanked him for everything, and promised him that everything was gonna be okay. Yoshi agreed with me, and went off to go be with his family. As I watched him, I knew that I would need to protect this world. Toad then came over, and told me that he found the location of the Mega Mushroom. I quickly ran out of the base, and journeyed towards there. Toad told me that the Mega Mushroom can be found in the swamps.
The Mega Mushroom grants the user a massive amount of power, but only for a limited time. That should be more than enough to beat the swamp.
I was deep inside and started my search for the mushroom. I eventually came across the hilltop, and Koopas were all around it, surveying the area. It looks like Bowser caught on to my upgrades.
Look, it's Mario. Get him.
The Koopas charged at me, and I prepared myself for a battle. I took the first one down by jumping on top of its head. The second one tried to hit me, but I dodged and used my diamond sword to easily defeat it. I used my fireball to take care of the last of them, and finally reached the hilltop. Just as stated, the Mega Mushroom was here. I collected it and decided that it's best to not use it yet. Time to go find the final coin and fight off its guardian. On days 73 to 75, I made my way through the Badlands until I spotted Bowser Jr. blocking my path.
You're not gonna get that coin, Mario!
Yeah, we'll see about that, Junior. Our fight began, and he flew towards me, throwing his bombs. I quickly dodged the explosion and tried jumping onto his machine, but he was too fast, and I missed him. Bowser Jr. managed to hit me with one of his bombs and sent me flying across the area. He flew over and laughed at me.
You fool! You'll never beat me as long as I'm on my machine!
You know what, Junior? You're right. I don't need to worry about you. I ran over and went right below his machine. Then, I jumped up and punched it. The machine exploded and sent Bowser Jr. falling to the ground. I could tell that he was afraid of me.
Please don't hurt me!
I watched as Bowser Jr. ran off. Oh man, poor guy. He's just a kid. I hope he takes care of himself. I then continued heading for the final coin. I arrived at the mountainous area and looked for the person guarding it. The ghost said that a giant thwomp would be protecting the coin, but all I saw was a giant spiky rock. The rock turned around and it revealed a menacing face. I'm guessing you're a thwomp, right? I told the thwomp that I needed the final coin to get the invincibility star, but he didn't seem too happy to give it to me.
You want this coin? You're going to have to beat me in a fight!
We began our duel, and I quickly ran in and hit the thwomp with my diamond sword. Ow, what's this guy made of? Steel? The thwomp then slowly rose above me, and once it was high enough, he then came charging down and slammed itself into the ground. It launched me far away. Ow! I wanted to save the Mega Mushroom for later, but I had no choice. I needed to beat this thing. I absorbed the mushroom, and suddenly, I grew into a giant-sized Mario. Woohoo! I was huge. I stomped my way over to the thwomp, towering over it. I punched down on it and easily destroyed it. This Mega Mushroom was no joke. I could feel its effects wearing off though, and I shrunk back to normal size. Well, I guess it was fun while it lasted. I collected the final coin and spotted a cave nearby. Maybe I should get more upgrades. I ventured inside and found some more diamonds. I mined all of them and had enough to craft the rest of my diamond armor. Now that I was fully equipped, I left the area and made my way back to base. On days 80 to 81, I returned to base and told Toad that I was able to beat the giant thwomp. I even retrieved the last coin.
This is great, Mario! Now you'll be able to get that invincibility star!
That's right. But first, I wanted to finish completing my base. I used some materials that I collected from the cave and was able to finally complete the new mushroom castle. I stood outside the castle and admired my work.
Oh, wow.
Luigi and the others showed up and were all shocked at the view. That's right, guys. This is all of our castle now. This is the new Mushroom Kingdom. We went inside and I showed them around the place.
Mario, this looks just like the old Mushroom Castle, but better! The princess is gonna love this!
I hope so. Once I save her, maybe things can finally go back to normal. It was time to go find the invincibility star. I left my house to go talk with Toad. Toad told me that the 3 coins were actually keys. I needed them to unlock something that would take me to the Rainbow Road teleporter. Rainbow Road? What's that place?
Once you place the 3 coins down, it should allow you to enter the Rainbow Road Temple. That's where you'll find the invincibility star.
He said that the teleporter was located in the Badlands. I guess it's time to go and find it. I made my way through the Badlands until I came across a strange platform lying on the ground. This must have been the teleporter. I walked up and saw that there were 3 spots. I placed the coins on each one. Nothing happened at first, but suddenly the beacon started lighting up around the entire device. While they were lighting up, the ground started to shake around me. I looked around the beacons and they were all forming rainbow colors. I guess it's working. Suddenly, there was a large flash of light, and the next thing I knew, I was teleported. On days 87 and 90, I was outside the Rainbow Road Temple. As I went into the room, there was a strange lady standing there. And was that? It was the invincibility star.
Mario, I have been waiting for
You know who I am? The lady said yes and introduced herself as Rosalina. She said that she was the overseer of the entire galaxy. She's apparently been watching my entire journey and wondered if I was worthy enough to use the star.
I can't just freely give the star to anyone. What do you plan to do with it?
I told Rosalina that I planned on using it to save Princess Peach and to end Bowser's reign of terror. Bowser needs to be stopped. If he isn't, he's gonna rule all of Minecraft. I'm the only one who can stop him. Rosalina was reluctant at first, but she decided to believe in me. She then handed me the invincibility star. My goodness. Thank you, Rosalina. I promise that I'll make the world right again. Suddenly, there was another large flash, and I found myself inside of my base. I guess Rosalina gave me a trip back. Toad ran up and was surprised to see me here.
Were you able to get the star?
I showed it to him, and Toad was filled with excitement. Now I can go and save Princess Peach. I know that this wasn't going to be easy, especially since Bowser was going to be expecting me. I gathered everyone and let them know that I was going to rescue the princess. I told them that I would need all of their help in getting her, and Yoshi was the first one to step up. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, I'm coming too.
You know what, Luigi? I think it's better if you stay here. You're the only one that can defend this place while I'm gone. He reluctantly agreed, and I told everyone to wish us luck and hopped on Yoshi. Let's do this, pal.
Yoshi!
The two of us rode off and headed for Bowser's castle. Don't worry, Peach. I'm on my way. On days 95 to 97, we arrived outside of Bowser's castle and slowly looked over to see that an army of Koopas were all around it. We needed a distraction to keep them occupied.
Yoshi!
You have an idea?
Yoshi!
All right, sounds good. Just be careful. Yoshi went over and started going around the castle for all the Koopas to see him. All of the Koopas chased Yoshi, and he led them out of the castle. While he was distracting them, I walked through and reached the throne room where Princess Peach was being held. I went inside, and Bowser was there sitting on his throne, but surprisingly was asleep. Shh! I'm here to get you out of here.
Mario?
She asked if I was able to get the star, and I told her that I did. I freed her from the cage, and the two of us quietly snuck out of the throne room. Yoshi was outside waiting for us. Suddenly, I heard a roar, and Bowser was awake from his slumber. We made a break for it, but Bowser fired off a blast that gravely wounded Yoshi.
Yoshi!
We ran off and left Bowser's castle, leaving him enraged. We made it back to base, and Toad ran over to us. He was glad to see us, but I was too focused on Yoshi. He fell to the ground, and I told Toad to go and get help. Yoshi, come on, buddy. Everything's gonna be all right. Princess Peach then looked at me and told me that Yoshi wasn't gonna make it. No, I refuse to believe that. Please, Yoshi, fight.
Yoshi!
Toad came running back, but it was already too late. Yoshi was gone. I decided to go and build a grave. Out of all of my friends, he was one of the most brave. I'm so sorry, Yoshi. I promise that I'm gonna go stop Bowser once and for all and make the world a better place. Princess Peach then came over and told me that she wanted to thank me for saving her.
I overheard that Bowser was planning to make a full scale on Minecraft and turn it into his new empire.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I told the princess that I was going to go back to Bowser's castle and end this. Now.
Not by yourself, you're not.
I agreed with my brother, and the two of us went off to go face Bowser. On day 99, both Luigi and I arrived at Bowser's castle. We looked in front of us, and there was a huge army of Koopas blocking us from the entrance. Are you ready for this, brother?
I wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, let's do this. We charged in and began our assault on the Koopas. I threw fireballs and began to thin out the group while he used an iron sword and was doing the same. The Koopas tried to counter, but my diamond armor protected me from their attacks. A Koopa charged at me, but I ran up and hit him, sending him flying into the sky. There were less Koopas now. I looked over and saw an open path straight to the throne room. Luigi told me that he was going to take care of the rest of the Koopas, while I ran off and made my way to go confront Bowser. On day 100, I reached the top of Bowser's tower, and Bowser was there waiting for me.
I knew you'd come back. Once I get rid of you, this world will belong to Bowser.
This world doesn't belong to you, and I'm gonna make sure that it won't. I pulled out the invincibility star and absorbed it, and I transformed into Star Mario. It's time to end this, Bowser. Our fight began, and Bowser immediately fired a blast of energy at me. I quickly dodged it. That was close. I went over and punched him. The blow sent him across the roof, and I can tell that I was hurting him. We started to fight back and forth, dealing blow for blow. Bowser then ran towards me and slammed me to the ground.
After I stop you, I'm going to take over the Mushroom Kingdom, and nothing will stand in my way.
I then knocked Bowser back with the fireball. I won't let you hurt anyone else, ever again. I gathered all of the power of the invincibility star and punched Bowser.
Curse you, Mario!
It looks like he's taken care of. All of Minecraft and the Mushroom Kingdom was finally saved from Bowser's grasp.